Live Radio. What's going on? All right, as we get started here, kicking off the episode with a great artist called Chan I. Today on this broadcast live streaming, I'm actually updating the AVA Live Radio broadcast, the new release radar with some new music for you, and also going to talk to you a little bit about coronavirus news because that's what everybody wants to know. You just want to know more about what's happening on coronavirus, and I see some of you already chiming in with your thoughts. So I'll read some of the messages. I'll talk about some of the updates. I'll talk about some of the things happening in the music news for you too, and we'll just get some nice good flow going, shall we? And if I see some comments coming in from Instagram, we're live on Instagram right now at AVA Live Radio. We are live on YouTube and also live on Facebook. So happy to say hello, hello. All right, girls, Corrupt Me Memory by Chan I is kicking it off while I just gather some of my thoughts here, and I'll be right back.
Love is see a bag of girl next to me. Girl, love of the dream team totally. The girl them far up my memory. Now my tattoo them name inside of me. Me love it when you scream ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Me love it when they ball out ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Say yo, oh the girl them love me so bad. Ask me the question that me no know. Me only know me love them. She coulda sweep road, wash car. I coulda go. Just keep your body clean and fresh, girl. Me love your fingernail sharp like piranha. You're the monkey, oh you love banana. So you squeeze and you bite, and you do this something right. Girl next to me, girl love of the dream team totally. The girl them far up my memory. Now my tattoo them name inside of me. Me love it when you scream ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Me love it when them ball out ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Say yo.
From the days of Adam and Eve, no man to no man like Adam and Steve. I just big woman, me that did it and great. Any fish come and show it in a them speed. The whole world they figure rearrange. Can't get up fast like a chin back. Love every girl could have sleep.
Love is see a bag of girl next to me. Girl love of the dream team totally. The girl them far up my memory. Now my tattoo them name inside of me. Me love it when you scream ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Me love it when them ball out ooh ooh ooh, yeah. Say yo, oh the girl them love me so bad. Ask me the question that me no know. Me only know me love them. She coulda sweep road, wash car. I coulda go. Just keep your body clean and fresh, girl. Me love you.
That was Chan I on AVA Live Radio. Girls, Corrupt Me Memory. So hey there, you guys. How is it going? Jacqueline Jacks here from AVA Live Radio. You can pick up this broadcast anywhere broadcasts are available. We update the new release radar every single day, 24/7. So typically, if you're watching me on the live stream, you're just seeing a little piece of what I do all day long here at AVA Live Radio, updating with brand new music. So if you have music to share, be sure to go to avaliveradio.info/airplay, and you can submit your music for the station. We'll review it, and if it hits the broadcast, we will certainly let you know. Also, great opportunities to market your music with us here at AVA, from newsletters to magazines to publications and other radio stations. So lots going on behind the scenes for new artists. Also want to say hello to all of our artists on the show today, especially the ones in our top 10. We have a top 10 over at avaliveradio.info if you want to go and access it and check it out. Some of the things that I noticed on the news this morning were some coronavirus updates, which is things that you guys have been wanting me to reflect on this channel. So here it goes. More than 640,000 cases worldwide at this point. I don't know about as far as all of the different places around the world that are asked to quarantine right now, but I do know that in Canada, they just asked us to stay in. And if you're traveling from outside of Canada and just arriving back, then you are to self-quarantine for 14 days. They also made it mandatory on public travel. So on airlines and train stations, if you have any symptoms, you are not allowed on those stations. They will be checking. As far as local bus routes, it's up to the individual to self-quarantine. But they have made it a mandatory event for people who just arrived into the country. So if you are not self-quarantining, then that would be a big problem because it is mandatory. That means you don't get to stop at the store before you go home. You just go home and you get somebody else to do it for you. In the US, I know a lot of states are doing the same thing. There are a lot of different states though, so you have to check with your local state to find out. I do know that in LA, I have a lot of people in LA, and they are saying that they have to self-quarantine. They're expected to stay in as well, so that whatever we do today limits the amount of cases that is going to happen in 2 weeks, because it takes about 7 days to 14 days for us to see the results of whatever actions we're taking today. As far as compensation, I did hear that in Canada, they are going to be doling out $2,000 to every single person because of the mandatory stay-in if you cannot work. So you can apply for that at the government website starting this week. Just keep an eye out for it, but you can get ahead of it just by opening a portal account. And that way, as soon as you can put in your application, you're half done. And then they will direct deposit that money to you. In the US, I believe it's around $1,000 to $1,500 plus $500 for every child. So you really need to check with your local state and your local government to find out what is going to be provided for you during all of this coronavirus shutdown. For those of you who do feel sick or have symptoms, here's what they're saying to do. You want to self-isolate. You want to stay in a place in your home. If there are other people in your home, you stay in your room, and only you and the one caregiver that is taking care of you should be allowed in and out of that room. Always remember that that person that is taking care of you should be wearing gloves and a mask. You should be wearing a mask, so that you don't put the cough and the droplets into the air. You want to try and aerate that room as much as possible as well. That means not opening the door to the other areas of the house, but opening the window so that you can let some fresh air in. But you are not to go outside if you have symptoms, because you will be symptomatic and can give the virus to people for 14 days, even as much as a month later. And this virus lives on surfaces. I'm even seeing some news that I'm going to cover later today about it living on shoes for 9 days, for 5 days, whatever days, it lives on shoes. So take your shoes off at the door as you come in. If you're going to go to the store, I believe a lot of places, especially like Australia, some places here in Canada, a lot of the stores are offering special hours for people over the age of 50 or 60 because they're more susceptible to like very bad symptoms from coronavirus, and in a lot of cases death because they can't breathe. So to limit that exposure, they're allowing older people to shop. If they don't have someone to shop for them, they can go early in the morning. So check with your local store about that so that you can make arrangements to get your groceries in a safe way. I highly recommend that you bring gloves, that you wear a mask, something protecting your face. Do not touch your face at any time, and clean off the surface of your shopping cart when you get there with alcohol or whatever the store is providing. Hopefully, I know locally here in Canada, they are actually Lysoling all of the carts before you get them. So that way, at least it's a little heads up, right? They're constantly being cleaned, and they're cleaning the surfaces and trying to keep everything clear. So those are some of the updates on coronavirus right now. My heart goes out to the people who are sick. Also, remember one more thing. If you are sick in your home and you have somebody looking after you, try and protect them by making sure that you don't cough into the air, even when they're not in the room, because they've got to come into the room, and you want to protect them from getting it and spreading it to the rest of your family. So always use different dishes than the family. Cook them food and keep it separate. Make sure the one person that is caring for them, don't let anybody else in that room until that is all clear. Make sure that one person in the room is washing their hands, switching out their gloves, protecting, wearing protective clothing. You can change clothes and make sure you have on a special shirt or something that you change into before you go into the room, and change it right when you come after, so that you don't bring it into the rest of the house. You have to maintain these quarantines because it's the only way you're going to keep your family safe, and you're going to protect the person that has the virus as well as yourself from getting it. This is Jacqueline Jack starting off the show. I'm going to play another song for you in just a second, so you guys hang out and I'll be back with more updates. All right, next up on the station is Swing My Way by Ghost. You like it? I love it. Good coronavirus update, huh?
Mr. Like it, I love it. 2020. Let's get him, baby. Yeah. I'm in the zone time. Nah, yeah, not gonna lie. Nah, see, I gotta testify. When I get up in the thighs, got a nigga hypnotized. The way you slow it down and speed it up, yeah, when you ride. Yeah, out of control. You don't want it soft and slow. You want to beat it through your kidneys, out to your soul. You know I touch hard, you like it, I love it. Shh, that's a private show. See, it started off as a plan. Meet you at the bar, have some drinks and have some dinner. You roll with me, wait, hit out, switch up, down with the pick you up and put me in and said, come get it, boy. So, yeah, I had to oblige. I know everything, talking, texting, this one weighing on your mind. You didn't know if I was lying, but you figured it out when you laid up on my chest and said, go to tap out. Whoa.
Bad little mama with the waist down low. Got it steaming like a sauna when it tastes down low. Bad little mama, what you got doing? Got you moving like the ocean when the ride doing. When you put it down on me, I put it down on you too. Got me feeling some type of way. By the way you move.
Smooth little cutie that I met down in Texas. Saw my freaky ways and the way I was stepping. Decided to jump way in my section. More than two-stepping by the way that you sex me. Like an auto start button, the way that you groove it. Somebody whipped and pulled you straight out a movie. You out of them jeans, it's just what it seems. And I'm the kind of dude that could be walking green. You never seen a dude that had all the signs. You know the ones that could reconfigure your mind. And did that to mine when I saw your behind. Gave me the look in your eye and you hopped in the ride. So I got you juicy wet like we jumped out the shower. Hit you with the longer strong mixed with the power. Climbed on top like I was your tower. Your legs turned to putty as you're shaking for hours.
Bad little mama with the waist down low. Got it steaming like a sauna when it tastes down low. Bad little mama, what you got doing? Got you moving like the ocean when the ride doing. When you put it down on me, I put it down on you too. Got me feeling some type of way. By the way you move.
By the way you move. By the way you move. Mr. Like it, I love it. Player. Welcome to the album Legacy. Let's go. You know.
Great song, Swing My Way. Ghost, you like it? I love it. It's got a good new song, right? I think so. Very, very true. On the front page of CNN, possible quarantine for New York. I think there is a quarantine in New York, actually, but thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. I do know that there are certain hot spots in New York, right, that are worse than others, but I believe as I'm watching and I'm hearing from some of the artists that are in New York, there is a quarantine in New York, and it's only, I think maybe it's just like it is here, where it is on honor system, but they want everybody to stay inside. And they definitely only want people going out just for food replenishments, you know, so everybody should be off of work. I believe all the businesses are closed in New York. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but and I would love to know where you are listening to in your area and what's going on. I certainly will talk about it on the broadcast today, so you can contribute to that for me, and I would appreciate it. You know, some of the things that are affecting artists today is the way that you earned money. And a big thing I want to encourage you to do is to try not to fret so much right now, because things will return back to normal eventually, but it has got us all thinking. It's got us all changing the way that we think about our futures as musicians and as businesses. You know, if you weren't online and you weren't streaming and you weren't doing things online, perhaps this is a chance for you to do that. Perhaps it's a moment in time where you should be thinking about it, because I know from being a remote broadcast host and being someone who can work wherever I am all over the world in music journalism, I have really loved that position. I have loved that ability to do what I want and make my own schedule. Now, I do have a pretty tight schedule, as you can tell. Part of my job is to be on air all the time and constantly be doing that. But it has been a benefit to me to not have to get in the car and drive to work anymore and fight the traffic like I used to do in Miami. It was horrendous. It took me forever to get to work, forever to come home. So it might be a good idea for you not to depend on gigs all the time and think about what you can be doing from this point on to build your business. Now, what I have done is I've put in a lot of extra hours creating some videos and marketing advice for you, like I just did on 2 YouTube channels. That's at Jacqueline Jack's channel, my personal channel, and on also the AVA Live Radio channel. Some of you are watching it here on the live stream. And I talk about different things. Like yesterday on my channel, I talked about branding and the importance of branding and how it has allowed me to build my business in so many ways. My marketing business, also my art business, which you're seeing behind me. I mean, all these things have come as a result of building really strong brand relationships and credibility amongst my followers and doing it consistently over years. So I gave you like 5 major big pointers about how I use this constantly to keep it all flowing, keep it all going. And that's over at the Jacqueline Jack's YouTube channel. So no better time than now to be self-starter in any business. I totally agree with you. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like you can sit around and you can worry all the time. And let's add this to the broadcast. Certainly great music here at AVA Live Radio. You know, I was just talking on a live stream with all of the people who were in my local fan base as well as the AVA Live Radio fan base, and they were telling me, you know, no better time than now to be self-starting in your business, your online business. And I completely agree. I'm a big fan of it. I think that everyone right now, instead of fretting about what you can't do and worrying about what's going on in your life or what's not going on in your life or being bored, right? Or spending a lot of time wasting time, this could be your opportunity to change everything. And I was just telling them that I have been doing a lot more on YouTube lately, on the AVA Live Radio channel, as well as my own personal channel at Jacqueline Jack's, because I want to talk about branding and marketing and building your business and share this information with you and encourage you and hope that maybe you will take this initiative, that you will take this moment in time and maybe think about starting your own business. You know what I mean? I think it's really, really important for musicians and artists to know how to take their creative skills and turn it into something that makes them money. It's very rewarding and it's really enjoyable, because if you're going to work every day, why not work in something that you truly, truly love and enjoy? Now, I see one of my friends, Shane Thornton, is in the house here over on Facebook at AVA Live Radio. He has a great band, and actually I'm going to play your song next because you're here with me. You're taking your time to hang out with me. We're going to play his song from Black Cadillac Kings in just a second, called Upside the Wall. Now, Shane said, you're doing a fantastic job. Thanks so much for broadcasting such goodness. Keep inspiring us. We love you. I love you too. He's so awesome. He's got a great band. So talented. I mean, their musicians are amazing. And he's got a solo project coming up. So guys, remember, use this time wisely. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you over the years how many times people have written into me and said, I'm a musician and I would love so much to be able to do this full time. This could be your chance. You could be doing this. You could be live streaming. Let me just tell you one thing about live streaming and what it does before I go and I play his song. Live streaming builds credibility. It gives you a chance to connect like you can't do it any other way. You can cover a lot of answers really fast. So instead of spending all that time answering every single little message out there, you could just address them all in one live stream. You can entertain people live stream. You can show your personality. I mean, it's the best way to get in front of people and build really quickly. And on top of it, live streaming whatever you're working on helps you to build your brand and build your business. This is why I think it's a great opportunity, because everybody's doing it and you should be doing it too. All right, let's play some music, shall we? I think we shall. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so this is the song from Black Cadillac Kings that I really like. It's called Upside the Wall. Good stuff.
You're really shifty with the four on the floor, yes I like it.
Good song. I like the rest of
I'm squealing when you're begging some more, yes I like. Well, a full body step from the eyes of the terror on the road that was out to find. Loving the sound of your wheels spin around and I'm feeling the psycho blind. You're a hard woman that loves a hard man. Shifted every morning just as fast as we can. No denying that we're racing on glass. Trying not to break it, but we're driving too fast. Spinning all around until the day I die. Hands start burning like a fire in the sky. This is emotion, never let it stall. I'll be an explosion when we're driving it outside the wall. Whoa! Turn of the keys, you get weak in the knees, yes I like it. Begging to please with your hair,
You're welcome.
yes I like it.
Yes, you are. It's been a good day today.
From the eyes of a terror, the world that was hard to find. Loving the sound of your wheels spin around as I'm feeling the psycho blind. You're a hard woman that loves a hard man. Shifting every morning just as fast as we can. No denying that we're racing on glass. Trying not to break it, but we're driving too fast. Speeding all around until the day I die. Can't stop burning like a fire in the sky. Instant is emotion, never let it stall. I'll be an explosion when we're driving it outside the wall. I'm chilling, waiting inside the tail night. Who we gonna say to the morning light?
Good, guys.
You're a hard woman that loves a hard man. Shifted every morning just as fast as we can. No denying that we're racing on glass. Trying not to break it, but we're spinning all around until the day I die. Can't stop burning like a fire in the sky. This is emotion, never let it stall. I'll be an explosion when I'm driving it outside the wall. Outside the wall. Outside the wall. Outside the wall. Outside the wall.
Great song. Great song. Black Cadillac Kings. Thank you, Shane. You guys make amazing music, and I cannot wait to hear your solo project. That's going to be so cool. So go follow them on Spotify because they have so many great rock songs. I mean, really, I love that band. It's awesome. Next is a song off of one of our top 10, and that one was in our top 10 too. Yes, it was. This one's by Perugia. It's a good song about a man, and I think if you listen to the lyrics on this one, you're really going to just feel good inside. It's really amazing, amazing. I wanted to say something that Kenneth said too. Kenneth said in the live stream, artists have a hard time selling themselves. That's the toughest thing for them, to have creative, but they're not salesperson. that needs to step up. I completely agree with that, but you know, if you watched my latest video on the Jacqueline Jack's YouTube channel, I talked a lot about how I built my brand, and that I built my brand by value, not by selling myself. You know, like I don't ever sell myself. In fact, the art that's behind me, shameless plug, is it didn't sell because I sold myself or I asked people to buy it. I actually never did. It sold itself because I was documenting the process of making the art, which is something I never did before, even though I went to art school, right? I always kind of like just did this. And then I got this bug where I moved in this new place and I was like, I need art for my walls, right? And I had some art from my walls from some friends that were artists that I have done some advertising for. So I had these and they really inspired me. And I was like, you know, I cannot find colorful art. And I talked about this in the video. I can't find things that I feel that I want to see on my walls. So I started, because I was an artist, right, in school, I started making it. And as I made it, I showed one to people and they're like, you got to put that on Instagram. So I started putting it on Instagram. And it wasn't me selling it. I actually was putting it up and showing people what I was doing and where I was putting it. And as a result, they started asking me where they can buy the prints. And then eventually, as I used hashtags in the posts and stuff, galleries started asking me where they can buy the art. And this was a classic example of it's not selling yourself. It's just documenting your process or entertaining people. Like I made some videos of me painting and I put some music on it so that it was relaxing. Like, come paint with me. You know what I mean? Like, come chill with me at night while I paint, see something come together with my hands and listen to some music while you're doing it. And it was a way for me to put up some music from some artists that I like and then also some stuff that I created. And as a result, it just became a thing. It became something people enjoyed on Instagram and birthed its own Instagram account, and now it's become a business. So it's not necessarily that artists need to think that they're asking for money or that they need to market it. You just have to put it in the right context and position so that people will want to, see what's available. So like if I were making music 24/7, I would document my music making process and allow people to sign up for my email list on my website where they could download the tracks. And if they wanted to support me, they could give me tips on live streams, or they could go buy the music, or they could buy the t-shirts or whatever merchandise I had to support me. I wouldn't necessarily be asking, but I would be wearing the merchandise when I played on live streams. So there's a big difference. You can provide a link and it will just happen. Usually asking people to pay you is not really always the best way to go. It's more like you'll develop over time a following that will like and know and trust your brand. And as a result, they will actually want to invest in what you have and they will want to receive more things from you. I have found that by giving value and constantly being there for my audience, they just wanted to be involved in projects. They wanted to have, like if they're going to buy something for a friend or a gift, they wanted to buy from me. And whether or not I had it for sale at the time or not, they asked. It wasn't something I had to pitch all the time. So my point is that I know artists don't feel comfortable pitching, but they don't necessarily have to pitch to get the sales to come in. With that being said, I have some artists out there that are exceeding their crowdfunding goals because every single time somebody reaches out to them on messages, they're saying, hey, if you really like the music and you really care about what I do, I would love to see you help fund this album by purchasing the album early. I have some rewards you might really want to go check out. And as a result, that little thing, that little response, it wasn't an initiation, it was a response to a message that they were already saying, has exceeded their crowdfunding goals just because they had a follow-up letter that asked people, if you really do like what I have and you really do care about my music and you want to encourage me, I have a crowdfund and I would love for you to go check it out. And in that crowdfund, they were able to get music from them. They were able to get the music early. They were able to buy the t-shirt, and they felt like they were part of something because there were rewards. So there's a very big difference between begging and asking and having to sell yourself and just providing outlets for people to be able to support and making that available at the right time. Should have recorded that. Well, actually, I did, didn't I? All right, let's play another song for you guys, and I will come and check your live streaming comments in just a second. This next one, like I said, is Julian by Perugia. I think you'll love it. Great song.
In with the spring, on with the spring you went, up like a saint over the world you left. They ignored the warning signs, filled their heads with alibis. Juliet, are you watching over me? Juliet, don't breathe. Juliet, I think you saved me. In like a song, out like the war you won. Fathers and sons, white flags and smoking guns. And all the poets won't concede, but you made them all believe. Juliet, are you watching over me? Juliet, don't agree. Juliet, I think you saved me. Oh,
Hey there, you guys. So thank you so much for joining me for this update on the new release radar. I will make sure that it is posted below any videos for you that you see. And if you're watching this on Instagram, then certainly it will be in our stories so that you can go and listen to the broadcast that I just updated. So you can see this goes on all day. If I can, I will jump back on in a little while and update with a few more songs for you as we get going through our day. Guys, stay safe. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys again later. See you later. Bye, you guys. Thanks for listening to AVA Live Radio, and certainly thank you so much for sharing it with a friend.